Physical therapy is a treatment that helps patients improve their conditions, achieving goals one step at a time.
KTIV's Jessica Bowman joins one Siouxlander's journey, learning to walk again this morning in Healthbeat 4.
About a year and a half ago, I started to lose the muscle mass in my left leg.
77-year-old Julie Burrow then noticed problems in her right leg and soon after was in a wheelchair.
I was diagnosed with Guillain-Barré and had no idea what it was.
It's a condition that affects a person's immune system, attacking nerves in the body. It can cause weakness and even lead to paralysis.
Eyes closed. 10, 9.
Affecting her from her waist down, Burrow couldn't walk. That's when home health was called in to help out.
Good job.
My husband's a teacher, and so he'd get up early in the morning, get me ready, and then they'd be with me part of the day.
Months later, her journey began to change.
It wasn't until I found Marty and CNOS that things really progressed for me.
She suffered a lot of nerve damage and couldn't get her muscles to activate.
CNOS physical therapist Marty Walsh says that's when physical therapy started to improve her condition.
With any neurological disease, especially in the early stages, you want to start stimulating the patient to do, if they can't do a big task like standing or walking, do small things just to get their legs moving or to stimulate the muscles in very small ways with maybe sitting exercises.
Walsh says her nerves needed to heal
so that they would eventually be able to work right and be strong enough to stand on their own 2 feet, which is where she's at now with the help of a walker.
Running.
For months now, Burrow has achieved small goals progressing.
Go down and then do your turn and come back.
Okay.
Now, she's challenged with more advanced tasks that Walsh says involve more of her balance and strength.
Can you turn a half circle?
The ultimate goal is for her to take on those tasks by herself.
My goal for all my patients is that their symptoms improve and that they no longer need me. But we want to improve their quality of life and improve their independence, doing exercises on their own to maintain their function and continue making it better. Go up the step. Super. Down. Good. Nice tall posture. That was really good.
Marty also has me working with steps. They've just been amazing in teaching me different techniques. And
can't even believe how far your posture's come.
And now I'm out of my wheelchair most of the time and I'm in a walker. And I think I'm doing really well.
The physical therapy program at CNOS is accepting patients. We have that information for you at KTIV.com.